Hello Alycats and you viewers. So today is part numero uno of my June 2016 favorites. And if you're new to the channel and don't know what favorites are, that's where I list pretty much everything I adored in the entertainment industry. And I include links to all the stuff mentioned down below so you can check it out if it sounds interesting to you. And I will include timestamps down below in case you want to skip ahead to a certain section or skip over a certain section that doesn't interest you. You see how much I love you guys? A lot. So first up, a book I really loved was Heir of Fire by Sarah J. Maas. This is the third book in the Throne of Glass series, and let me just say, if you love fantasy novels, definitely read the Throne of Glass series because it's very, very well done. Each book gets better and better, and the characters are just really relatable, and I highly recommend this series. It is quite a lengthy series. This is over 600 pages, but I highly recommend it. Now moving on to movies I enjoyed. The first one up is The Last 5 Years. The Last 5 Years is a musical, and I mean every line in this movie is sung, so if that sounds terrible to you, don't watch this movie. The Last 5 Years is about the journey of a couple from when they first met to when their relationship ultimately ends, and it chronicles the highs and lows, and it's just a really fascinating film in my opinion. Very well done. Anna Kendrick and Jeremy Jordan are just masterful in their roles. They both have amazing voices, and I thought the musical numbers were great. So I highly recommend this if you're into romantic films and musicals. The next film I really enjoyed was 10 Cloverfield Lane. Most of you already know what 10 Cloverfield Lane is about, but if you don't know, I'm not going to tell you because if I did, that would spoil the whole movie. The three actors in this film are phenomenal. Mary Elizabeth Winstead, John Gallagher Jr., and especially John Goodman totally sell this film, and it's just a very thrilling movie. It doesn't really have a connection to the first Cloverfield movie. There's like one little thing that if you're looking hard enough you'll notice that ties them together. Just don't go into this expecting a sequel to Cloverfield. Go into this knowing that this is a edge of your seat thriller and you'll have an amazing time. The next film up, and I have a really interesting story to go with this one, is The Conjuring 2. Let me just say, The Conjuring 2 is one of my favorite horror films of recent years and probably of all time. It is that good. I do have to say, I might be a little biased because when I went to go see The Conjuring 2, it was 10 o'clock in the morning. The parking lot of the theater is empty and it still didn't click in my head that I might be the only one there. So I buy my ticket, go to the theater, and I notice there's no one in that theater. And I'm like, oh yeah, this has never happened to me before. I get to watch a movie by myself. I don't have to worry about phone screens glowing. I don't have to worry about getting kicked in the head by someone's foot. I wish there were people in that theater. For 2 hours and 15 minutes, I was in pure terror. It probably wouldn't have scared me as much if I had had people there, but being by myself and having the jump scares come, I was constantly looking over my shoulder, and I swear I saw things moving from my peripheral vision, and I was freaked out, and it was an amazing, terrifying experience. And I just thought the film was really well done. I thought Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson were amazing again as the Warrens. I thought this film was a lot scarier than the first film. Again, I might be a little biased. And I love the kid actors. They didn't ruin the film. They actually added to it. They were great. I actually really liked the pacing, even though it was very, very torturous for me, because for about 30 minutes of pure terror, there were like 10 minutes of just exposition and dialogue, then back to 30 minutes of terror, 10 minutes of dialogue. You get the drift. But overall, I highly recommend this film, and if you can find a theater where you're completely alone, definitely watch it. You'll be scared shitless, and it's going to be amazing. But, I mean, it's still going to be good if you watch it with a theater full of people. You can't say I don't have balls of steel, though. The next film up is Event Horizon. Now, this is an older film. I haven't heard a lot of people talk about this, but I wish I would have because it was so much fun. This borrows heavily from Alien and The Thing, so you basically know what you're getting into when you watch this, but it's just so much fun. It stars Lawrence Fishburne, Sam Neill, and Joel Lee Richardson. And it's basically about this crew on a spaceship, and something is wiping out their entire crew one by one. And it's just such a fun thrill ride. The CGI is terrible. Some of the acting is wooden, but it's just so much fun. And I thought this was Paul W.S. Anderson's best work, which that's not saying a lot because he directed the Resident Evil films, which I personally love and they're a guilty pleasure, but a lot of people hate. But I highly recommend check out Event Horizon if you're into fun, kind of B-movie, horror, science fiction films. You'll just have a great time. The next film is The Prestige. Now, I was a little wary about this film because I'm not a huge Christopher Nolan fan. Oh my gosh, this film was amazing. The Prestige is about two magicians who are rivals, and it shows how they're trying to one-up each other, usually through deadly consequences. And this stars Hugh Jackman, Christian Bale, Rebecca Hall, Scarlett Johansson, and the late David Bowie. And it was just so good. I was so intrigued the whole time, and it's a pretty lengthy movie. I thought the performances were great. I pretty much thought everything was beautiful. The cinematography was gorgeous. I highly recommend this film, even if, like me, you didn't enjoy Christopher Nolan's Batman series or Inception or Interstellar. Definitely check out The Prestige. This came out before those, and it was just really, really good. And I do want to mention 2 short films I think you should check out. First up is World of Tomorrow. This is a 16-minute short film by Don Hertzfeldt, who also created It's Such a Beautiful Day. And World of Tomorrow explores a girl who finds her clone, who is basically like her great-granddaughter, and they just talk about what happens in the future. And again, it's a very unusual art style and style of direction, but it is so powerful and so good. Definitely check it out. It's worth a watch. It's very short. It's nominated for a Best Short Film Oscar, so definitely check it out. And the next film I want to mention is Ellis. Now, Ellis is a 14-minute short film that stars Robert De Niro as a man who is recounting his experience at an Ellis Island hospital, where the majority of people that checked into that hospital were never discharged, so it became kind of like a purgatory for them. It's very emotional and very, very marvelous acting by De Niro. Now, moving on to TV, the first show I want to mention is, you're gonna laugh at me, Pretty Little Liars Season 7. The first episode came back, and this episode intrigued me more than the past couple seasons have. It's so good, and I will admit I stared at Ian Harding more than I should have. But I just love this series. It's kind of a guilty pleasure, but I don't really feel guilty about it. It's just a lot of fun, and this is reportedly its last season, so I'm kind of sad, because this TV show has carried me through some pretty tough times in my life, but I understand why they'd want to end it, because, come on, there's only so many times you can have a different A. But again, if you're looking for a good fun watch that's not too serious, check out Pretty Little Liars. Now, this next show I want to mention, it has got pretty much my whole entire family hooked on it, and that's Mr. Robot. Now, when you think about a show that's all about hacking and about how these corporations are evil, you probably don't imagine that being very fascinating, but this show is. And yeah, some of the technical jargon goes over my head, but I love how it shows Elliot, who is played by Rami Malek, and he is spectacular, how Elliot's unraveling mentally, and how he just wants to fuck society, you know? That's what he actually says. And the hacker group he starts to work for is called F Society. And all the actors are fantastic. Christian Slater is so much fun as Mr. Robot. And I just really, really love the writing of this show. I love how Elliot is an unreliable narrator and he talks directly to you at some points, breaking the fourth wall. And I just love to see all the stuff that's happening to Elliot. It's just so fascinating, and I love to see the actual hacking going on. I actually had to learn how to hack for this show, so it's very authentic, and I cannot wait for the second season because I'm hooked now. A couple of games I've really enjoyed have been Fire Emblem Fates Birthright. This is the latest game in the Fire Emblem series, and I'm a huge fan of this series. It's so much fun. If you haven't played it, you should definitely check it out. But Fire Emblem Fates Birthright is about your customizable warrior who either has to decide with their birth family or the family they've basically grown up with. Now, this is a strategy game, but it's so easy to learn, and it's just a lot of fun to play with, and the story is fantastic in these games. And the emotional connections you create with these characters is unreal. I highly recommend this game. It's just mind-blowingly great. And I definitely want to get my hands on Conquest just to see how the entire story unfurls. And the next game I've really enjoyed is the Banner Saga. But the Banner Saga is another strategy game, and it's created by Nordic Games. And it's just such a beautiful game, and I highly recommend it if you're a fan of strategy games. It also allows you to choose different decisions, different dialogue options, so that totally changes your story, and plus it can carry over to the Banner Saga 2. Now I'm adding a new little segment, and that is the apps segment, because I've been addicted to a couple apps. The first app I've been totally addicted to is Letterboxd. Letterboxd is an app that allows you to basically go in and you can look up any film in existence, even ones that haven't come out yet, and you can see the user score, so like so many out of 5. And it also allows you to rate movies and review movies, and you can also create a watch list, which is my favorite part, where you say you want to watch that film and it puts it on your list, and once you watch it, it removes it from the list, so I don't have to be like, what was that movie I wanted to see? And then forget about it, and then weeks later remember it. I can just put it on my watch list, pull it up, and there it is, and then I could be like, hey, it's on Netflix. I know I sound like a nerd, but it's just a lot of fun, and I definitely need more followers on that, so if you'd like to follow me on Letterboxd, It's in the description box down below. And the other app I've been utterly addicted to is iHeartRadio. I don't know why I just now downloaded this, but it's a godsend because it's totally free. You can tune into either live radio or curated radio, and it makes these stations based on your personal musical interests. So you say you like this kind of genre or this song or this artist, and it recommends new songs you may not have heard about. It's just really, really amazing, especially for someone who's so into music like me and I hear so many songs and I want to discover new songs. This is perfect. And plus, it doesn't charge you. You can hear some songs that aren't posted on YouTube or whatever. It's just, I highly recommend it if you're looking for a new music source. And keeping with the music theme, all the songs I really love this month are in the description box down below. Give them a listen, let me know what you think. And lastly, a couple of YouTube channels I really enjoyed this month have been Sea Stove. Sea Stove does a lot of like pickup videos and unboxings, and he's just a really awesome guy. I've known him for a couple years now, and he's just a good guy, and he's so funny, and he's just really friendly, and I highly recommend his channel. And the other channel I've really enjoyed is Gundam Rust Pokemon and Gaming. He does a lot of like pickup videos now. He does collection videos. And he's very into Sony and PlayStation. Would highly recommend his channel if you're into gaming and Pokemon, hence his name. So this is it for part 2 of my June 2016 favorites. Let me know what your favorites were in the comment box down below. Like the video if you liked it. Share if you want to. I'd actually really appreciate that. And make sure to subscribe so you're always up to date with my videos. You see each new one as they come in. And you can be a lifelong Alycat. I don't know what that was. Also, if you'd like to follow me on all my social media sites, they're linked in the description box down below, along with all of my playlists, so you can watch my videos back to back to back to back to back. And thank you so much for watching. I love you all so much, it's crazy. Peace and kisses. Bye.